has been happening today in the world of sports from football. The Ballon d'Or Awards went down yesterday in France, and the fallout from that ceremony is starting to dominate the football space. So we'll talk a bit about that yesterday. The guys on Game On did enough to talk about that one, but we'll look at it from a different perspective today and talk about what we saw following the results, the announcement of Messi as the seventh time. He's won the award pretty much for the seventh time. And something about Cristiano Ronaldo not being happy with that decision as well. We'll wait to see we'll find out what he's talked about as well. And then there's something on African football. A couple of weeks ago, it was all about the Liverpool manager, Jurgen Klopp, using a derogatory word about African football, the African Cup of Nations. And there was two sides to that conversation, one for and one against. I wonder what side you stand on, but later on today from 7:30, we will be talking to a sports journalist on the show. He's also the founder of ACL Sports, and he'll be telling us a bit about African football and the growing notion about disrespect from FIFA to African football. Yes, we'll be talking about that one as well from 7:30. Calvin Emeka Onwuka will be our guest on the show, and he'll be joining us to talk about that one today as well. So much to talk about on the show. But first, like I said, I am Samuel Victor Akman bidding you warm welcome to the show. Alongside me is always the regular cast. I must say I'm privileged, I'm honored, I'm humbled. So many things when I'm in the presence of these guys, but it is what it is. We'll make a fantastic crew together. But make welcome Lagos, Nigeria, to the man with the voice, the man who the ladies can't get enough of, the man who certainly, I repeat, must be working night radio, must consider it at the very least before the end of his broadcast career. Who am I talking about? Anthony, the voice. Yes, that's what he likes to be called. Anthony, welcome to the show. Always a pleasure to be alongside you on any broadcast.
I mean, the pleasure's all mine, brother. And when you were talking about the night radio thing, I mean, I did night radio for how many years? 4 years?
Oh, you did? You never mentioned.
Yeah, I did. I mean, while I was doing sports in IB, I was doing night shows. Was it up to 4 years? No, was it up to 4 years? I think about 2 years or so. So yeah, it's something that I like, and maybe one of these days you'd hear me another blessing.
Oh, what a combo that would be! What a combo! That's gonna be great.
So look forward to it. But yeah, I mean, I'm great to be here. It's a lovely Tuesday. Lots of conversations from the peel off of yesterday's event, and the world of football is agog, really. Lots to talk about, and we've got a really thick talking point on the show today. Pleased to be here, and can't wait to have fun.
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Fridays, you work. You're always on the Game On broadcast. Which is more tedious?
Tuesdays, Wednesdays,
and Fridays.
Wednesdays.
Oh,
no, Tuesdays.
Because it's a marathon all the way.
Course.
Can we get?
It's a stretch.
Anyway,
it's a stretch.
Our boss is also in the studio here, so maybe we can have that conversation and ask him who can put some elements into Tuesday. So
what kind of elements?
The elements we have on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and Thursdays, which we find one and input on Tuesdays as well. Maybe we'll do that night radio thing you're talking about. But let's make welcome to Chuma El Ramiro Nole, who joins the broadcast. And Chuma, I must say, I'm always blessed, I'm humbled, I'm honored to be in your presence at all times. Welcome, boss.
Ufanami. And for those who are wondering what I mean, Ufanami means this guy. Just to clarify. Let me sound like the guy you introduced before myself. I just feel that you should search for sponsors. If you get sponsors, then we can just play around with these.
Don't do this.
Great to be here, Samuel. Yeah, it's always a marathon session, and I was speaking to somebody earlier today who needed to see me when I'm done with evening radio, and I told him I'll be done with work around 9:30, and then it dawned on me, guy, today no be
You're going to 10.
You have to do it till 10 p.m. So apparently it's glaring that Tuesday's Game On is the most hectic in quote, because of the longevity of the show, but it's also one of the most exciting because you have a chance to not just hang out with your colleagues for a longer period, but also
with
hear
the
from
fans
the
too.
even more.
Absolutely.
So it's a beautiful experience, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, great to see you, Chuma. Welcome to the broadcast. And of course, the most important part of all of this is you out there listening to the broadcast, whether you be driving home or having dinner with husband or wife or the family. Basically, we are glad to be in your airwaves and bringing to you the very best of a sporting conversation. And sometimes we take it outside sports. We talk about our personal lives. Brownish likes to open my, when I'm on a broadcast with him, but it is what it is. But there you have it. Welcome to the show. Remember, guys, we're live on Facebook, or we'll be live very soon on Facebook, and it is Nigeria Info FM 99.3, and on YouTube as well. We are Nigeria Info FM. So do well to check out, join the stream, and be part of the conversation. Drop your comments. We'll be taking all of them as they come in. But without further ado, let's go straight into the conversation. It's all about, it's only necessary that we start from the big ceremony that happened yesterday in France, where Lionel Messi of Argentina and, of course, Paris, I was going to say Barcelona, but Paris Saint-Germain, won big out there. For the 7th time, he's been crowned the best men's player for the year 2021. 2021 out there yesterday, and so many other awards were given. The Barcelona woman there, Putellas, how did they say that? Putellas was named the female, footballer of the year. Chelsea Football Club were named Club of the Year, and be fun. Should I get you some chicken?
So you can move from beef. They'll give him pork.
And so many awards were given out there yesterday. But straight into the business, I'm going to ask you. I think nobody's surprised, or is anybody really surprised that Messi won it yet again for the 7th time?
I would not have been surprised if Lewandowski won it. I'm not surprised that Messi won it. I would not have been surprised if Jorginho won it. Honestly, that's where we are.
Nothing surprises
No.
At
In
this
the
point.
context of 2021, that's it, bro. Bro, it happens in life sometimes that there are certain years where you just cannot argue anymore. Now, 2012, I remember, if my memory serves me right, that was when I joined the company and I came to Lagos here in November and early December before resuming in Port Harcourt. That was the year Messi scored 90-plus goals. Yeah. That kind of calendar year, you don't have to, guy, you wouldn't even think about it twice.
Yeah.
When they're asking who do you think the favorite for the award is, you're looking at it, surely it's Messi. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo has had that kind of year too. When he won the Champions League title with Manchester United in 2008, exactly, before he moved on to Real Madrid, when he was, till date, we know he's still the only player who has come from the Premier League and then gotten the award as the best player in the world while still playing in the Premier League. It was glaring. So there's certain years where you look at it and you're like, guy, this is it. When Cannavaro won it as a defender in 2006, the World Player of the Year this time around, the FIFA version, not the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, I'm not sure too many people argued too, because it felt like it was written in the stars. Ronaldo de Lima, when he won in 2002, after scoring 6 or 8 goals in Korea, Japan 2002,
the World Cup,
including the 2 in the final over Oliver Kahn, it was written in the stars too. So some of these years are years where the player is so good that there's no argument as to who will win it. These guys are red hot favorites. 2021 was not one of those years. And to show how uncertain 2021 has been for the hierarchy of big names in the sport, guy, as at July, after his man of the match performances in the semi-finals and final of the UEFA Champions League for Chelsea, guys started throwing N'Golo Kante into the mix, didn't they? Few people said N'Golo Kante, this guy is good enough to be the best player in the world. Finished the European Championships at the end of July. Hey, Jorginho, he don't win the Champions League with Chelsea, win a championship, the Euros with the Italian national team. Jorginho. And Lewandowski was not being peddled by many people as that July, August. By September, Lewandowski started the new season, continued from where he stopped last time. And then all of us, Lewandowski. Karim Benzema, courtesy of his good form this season, there's been conversations. Carlo Ancelotti has had to respond to questions. I think Benzema deserves to be Ballon d'Or this year. Some people think it's propaganda, but again, you could argue from a Real Madrid perspective, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So Benzema, like he did on social media, believes he should be the best player in the world from a Ballon d'Or perspective. So it's been that year where we've had 5, 6, 7 names thrown into the hat as favorites for the Ballon d'Or because nobody held 2021 as his. And there are pros and cons for everybody. I'll just quickly say this because I know Anthony has his own fair share of thoughts, and I've seen different thoughts on social media. Lewandowski was robbed. This one was robbed. This one is this is that. I'll blame the Ballon d'Or guys for having an award that's called Striker of the Year or whatever when you don't have defender and midfielder and goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So I'll blame them for that. Okay, you have the Yashin award, which is goalkeeper.
It
But you don't have defender,
was
you don't have midfielder.
specially
Feels like they're
created.
just saying, guy, maybe we'll compensate you.
Yeah.
It would have been as good as saying, guys, sorry, last year we didn't have it because of COVID-19. Or we all know you should have won it last year. Collect the award for last year. Should have given Lewandowski that if that's what you want to use to pacify him. But plus for Lionel Messi, top scorer in the Spanish La Liga, Copa del Rey title, top scorer in Copa America, best player in the competition, best assist provider in the competition, won the competition with his country. From January to July, Messi had everything working in his favor. 100% for Messi. After July, bro, since he moved to PSG, what has he done at PSG? Messi has been very average at PSG.
Chuma,
One or two Champions
even
League
at
goals,
Barca,
1 or 2 assists.
At Barca, individually, yes.
Yeah.
But as a team...
You see, we're going to go back to this talk of individually and as a team.
Which
is why those who are shouting for Lewandowski going to this as a team thing. As a team. Lewandowski, top scorer in the Bundesliga, amazing guy, 6 goals in the Champions League. An okay Champions League. It's the Champions League where Erling Bros Haaland last season scored 10 goals.
Yeah.
Even Mbappe scored 8, better than this same Lewandowski guy in the Champions League. He was top scorer in the Bundesliga. We're used to that in the Bundesliga. He won the Bundesliga title with Bayern. We're used to that too. Amazing performance, no doubt. Starts this season, his numbers as 2 goals are phenomenal. Let's go to team now. Team, what did Bayern do? Just the Bundesliga. That's it.
The club
Bayern were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League.
Yeah.
Poland, national team. What did they do?
did
Euros, group stages. They're
Yeah.
knocked out of the group stages. You know, so you shout. So for everybody, you're saying Messi has phenomenal individual from January to July, but team for club level, terrible.
Nothing.
Lewandowski, where get all the best goals when he don't score. Team, what?
Nothing.
So Jorginho, that was winner of, because people always say, what did he win? For all of his goals, what did he win? Jorginho won Euros and won Champions League.
Yeah,
But for Chelsea and for Italy, was Jorginho the best player for those 2 teams?
No.
Arguably not.
Please, let's continue from there.
All right.
Anthony, I don't talk my mind. You don't do.
All right then.
This conversation is so many faced, so many parts to it, which makes it very very
You
complex.
are listening to your number 1 station for talk.
99.3
Anthony the Voice, and of course, Chumanali on the broadcast. And we're giving you all the very latest in the world of sports. Guys, apologies for the break. When Zeta interrupts, Zeta does interrupt, and we can't stop it. Zeta is the boss. So you just have to let it do what it knows how to do best. But before the break, we were talking about the Ballon d'Or. We'll come back to that. But if you remember, I told you at the start of the show, we have a very big guest in the house. And together, we'll be talking about African football, hence the tune you're hearing by Oliver Mtunzi, Mkuru Mkuru. Emmanuel Etim loves this song so much, and you can understand why. So, perfect song to play now, and that takes us to African football. Joining us on the line via Zoom is a sports journalist and, of course, a founder of ACLsports.com, a very, very big colleague, a senior bros, if I can use that word, in the business. And I must say I'm delighted to have him on the broadcast. First off, good evening to you. Welcome, Emeka, to the broadcast.
Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you for having me. It's a privilege. I hope I'm able to speak what people will like or understand.
What they don't like. It's fine to speak what they don't like.
Certainly you have. I mean, the last time you were on Nigeria Info, I think it was Ufoma Igbamuno you spoke to on the broadcast, and it was very, very enlightening.
It was.
You guys spoke a lot, and when I told him, Ogami, I needed someone, I was like, no, I got you covered. Once I saw you, I was like, oh, no problem. But again, welcome to the broadcast. Before that break, we're talking about the Ballon d'Or, which happened yesterday in France, and the fallout from that, which is going to lead us into the main conversation for today. But first off, let me ask you, Emeka, do you have any objections, or are you surprised, or were you surprised more like with any of the awards given yesterday? I know a lot has been said about Lionel Messi winning it for the 7th time, but do you have any other objections as to the winners on the night yesterday?
I genuinely have very little interest in Ballon d'Or and all the awards night and all the glitz that go with it. I am very old school in that respect.
Okay.
Football is gradually turning into Hollywood, where with all this red carpet and all of that, it is a team sport, and my whole body revolts against all the stuff that's been going on in the last 15 years to de-team football. It really annoys me. Football has become so individualized. It's very annoying. And I blame the Americans for it. I blame your Avalanche for the time they gave the 1994 FIFA World Cup to the US. From then on, football has been on a slippery slope where it's become, there's a term that I keep hearing lately, and it really annoys me. He won the World Cup. He won the Champions League. He won the Premier League. This is not ATP. When I was growing up, what we used to hear was he has a World Cup winner's medal. He has a Champions Cup winner's medal. Do you understand?
Okay,
that emphasized the fact that it is a team sport.
Team sport, yeah.
But now it's almost as if everything has become individual, like it's one person. I always remember this thing. When I used to play for University of Lagos, there was one day we were in training. We had a player. He loved to run with the ball a lot. He liked to dribble. And the coach used to warn him about it. And one day, he lost the ball, and the coach told all of us to stop and asked him to go and get the ball back. So you think you can dribble, go and get the ball back, and then go and score on your own, to show that it's a team sport.
Yeah.
Now, back to these individual awards. I listen, once Messi is in the running, or once Ronaldo is in the running, they will win. They will win it. Once both of them are in the running for it, they win it. So I don't pay. It doesn't matter to me who wins it, whatever, because I pay very little attention to it these days.
All right,
I'm
then.
old school.
We all love old school sometimes, but it is what it is. But from taking it from that perspective, I guess the obvious thing to say now is we as Africans have to be concerned with what pertains to us as Africans. And yesterday, the fallout from that award itself was about the Chelsea and Senegal goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy, being snubbed, and the Italian goalkeeper who also plays for Paris Saint-Germain, Gianluigi Donnarumma, winning that award as the best goalkeeper for the year. Now, we can also say that you can make a case for and against for Edward Mundy. But when you look at that, do you also think that based on what he's achieved, I know you spoke about it being a team sport and all that, but essentially the Ballon d'Or is an individual award. When you look at what Mundy had done, or throughout the year for Chelsea, and you pitched that up against the winner of the award itself in Donnarumma, do you think, I don't want to paint this notion, but I can't help but do it, that maybe because he's African, and that's why he was, overlooked ahead of the Italian goalkeeper?
Let me, the way I can say this is, had there been AFCON this year, and Senegal made it to the final or even won the tournament, as in Chelsea win the Champions League, Senegal make it to the final or even win the AFCON, and I think Mendy would have won.
Okay.
Donnarumma has defeated Mendy because Italy are European champions. That is my humble take on it.
Right.
I think it's because the Italians won the Euros, and Euros was a huge thing for Italy to win. I think it swayed the way the votes were cast. But frankly, if I was Mendy, if I was his teammates, I would not even give a look at the whole thing. Won't matter a jot. I'll just continue to do what I have to do, continue to play as well as I've been playing, and then hope that Chelsea retain the Champions League and then add the Premier League title to it. That is just as good, if not even more important.
All right, importance. Guys, remember you can watch us live on Facebook. We are live streaming at Nigeria Info FM 99.3 on Facebook and Nigeria Info FM on YouTube. We're live with veteran sports journalist and, of course, a founder of ACLsports.com, Calvin Emeka Onwuka, joining us via Zoom on the show tonight. Now, let's get into the big conversation, Emeka, and it has to do with a comment suggested or released or said earlier today or yesterday by the former Egyptian striker Mido, where he, said that the decision of the World Football Governing Body to hold the forthcoming FIFA Club World Cup in February next year in 2022, which coincidentally will be happening at the same period where the AFCON will be culminating in the finals, next year, is, in his words, disrespectful to African football. Now, again, there's always two sides to it. Yes, he's correct, or no, he's overdoing it. I mean, when you hear these comments or this sort of comment, what say you as to buttressing that notion or saying the notion is a bit too far-fetched or overboard?
As a continent, Africa went down as a continent in terms of CAF the day in 2017 when Ahmad became the CAF president. That was it. That was the downfall of where Africa's football administration started. And since then, we've only gotten worse. Gianni Infantino personally handpicked the current president, Moshepe. And all he keeps doing is doing everything that Infantino wants Africa to do. Africa, in my book, Africa has become CAF has become an annex of FIFA. We've got no say. And I totally agree with Mido, completely. Because there's no way FIFA would have scheduled a tournament that will clash with the Copa America.
Or the Euros itself.
They wouldn't do that. But if you have no self-respect, then you have no right to expect other people to respect you. As a continent, we have, as a body, as CAF, have shown very little respect for itself. And what annoys me also is that the member countries, using Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt, Morocco as examples, have forgotten that they are actually the people who are members of FIFA. CAF is not a member of FIFA. FIFA is made up of the individual federations. So the Nigerian Football Federation is a member of FIFA, not Confederation of African Football. We don't realize that. So why this idea? You see, every FIFA president since Yao Havelange, they've used Africa as the block that they use to get through everything that they want to do in the Congress.
Yeah.
Because Africa has 54 member votes. Now, Infantino has even gone one step further. He has just decided to annex CAF completely. Last year, it was FIFA Secretary General that went to CAF headquarters in Cairo to be running, that's Fatima Samora, to be running the CAF headquarters. It was the most embarrassing thing you could think of. They sent somebody from FIFA to go and do and work in CAF, and everybody just kept quiet. The member presidents, federation presidents there, nobody said anything. This is what has led us to where we have Moshepe, who knows next to nothing about international football administration. Yes, he owned Mamelodi Sundowns, but that is absolutely nothing to do. That's nothing compared to being a football technocrat. He does not know all the things that go on. So that's why Infantino deliberately picked him, so that he will be able to teleguide him in what he does.
Yeah.
So yes, Mido is absolutely correct. Why would you choose a competition to run right into the AFCON period? Why is that? That is so insulting. I am with Mido on that.
All right, big thoughts there from Mido, and of course you supporting that notion. The next question, obviously based on what you've said, has to be, how do we move forward from here as regards cleaning our house? Because the perception, like you finally mentioned, is if we don't present ourselves as good enough, then we're going to be puppets in the hands of the bigger body, FIFA, now for one. So how do we clean house, or where exactly do we start to clean house to become better organized in the eyes of FIFA and the rest of the continent in the world?
It is too long a process. And if I use Nigeria as an example, to become a sports administrator in Nigeria, you have to be in bed with the government of the day at state level. Now, from that state level, that is how you progress to the national level. And it is from the national level that you're able to progress further than that. Because the way to become a football administrator in the continent is fundamentally flawed. It is difficult for us to make the kind of change that we need. It's almost impossible, really, to make that change. I don't know if some of you guys remember, and maybe our listeners will remember. There was a time the Nigerian Football Federation started what they call the what's that committee called? They wanted to change the way football administration was done in Nigeria.
Okay.
Our membership. I actually did a paper, and I sent the paper to them in what I suggest that they should do. And the committee met, worked very hard, brought out the paper, they shredded it, they binned it. It was not allowed to see the light of day as we speak here, because it required a complete shake-up in the way football administrators emerge in the country. Now, until we do that, until that happens, we will never be able to produce administrators that will think of improving sports, to improving football in Nigeria, in their countries first, before being able to go out and beat out their chest when they're discussing with their European and South American compatriots, or what are they called? Counterparts. Thank you. Before they were able to do that, because until we're able to do that, we will not be able to stand tall in having proper conversations with them. And I said somewhere, I think it was on Ghanaian TV last week, I said somewhere, I have a feeling if Infantino continues the way he's going, FIFA will come down. FIFA will come crashing down. Because all it takes for FIFA to come crashing down is for UEFA to pull out. A brave and bold UEFA president who decides, we're not doing this biennial World Cup nonsense that he wants done. And they pull out. And that will be that. FIFA will be left with only probably Africa, or maybe the Caribbean CONCACAF. Common Ball won't even go with them. Common Ball will go with UEFA. and that will be the end of FIFA as we know it.
Interesting. All right. So I was going to talk about that, biennial decision by CAF, that support for FIFA. But let's bring it back home a bit and talk about our very own Super Eagles of Nigeria as well, which is obviously the story is not so good when it comes to management as well. You spoke about administrative level for CAF and of course FIFA being the bane of the problem. But looking at the Nigerian Super Eagles and the situation we find ourselves in at the moment, calls for Gernot Rohr to leave, calls for Gernot Rohr to stay and all that. What say you as regards the disorganization of some sort in Nigerian football? Do you support the notion that Gernot Rohr should leave to make Nigerian football or our performance at the AFCON and the World Cup better? Or do you think it's wrong time to sack the man?
There's never a wrong or right time to sack a coach. Only his employers will decide that, okay, we've had enough, so we're going to sack him. The Nigerian Football Federation, according to my sources, they've sacked Gernot Rohr. Forget all the other stuff being said. He's gone. He's not going to take Nigeria to AFCON. But what I do not think, personally, I've never had any fault with the way Gernot Rohr has carried on. None at all. As I always tell my friends and the people who are in the NFF Executive Committee, you guys told Rohr from day one that you have nothing but contempt for players playing in the National League. If you had not shown him that, if you had not shown that to him,
he wouldn't have told that part.
Rohr is in my lifetime. Let me remind you guys, I am old enough to remember the Super Eagles that failed, the senior national team that failed to qualify for the 1978 World Cup. That's my first football heartbreak. I have never known a Nigerian national team coach, who has shown this much disdain for local talent the way Gernot Rohr has shown throughout his 5 years. But I don't blame him. I said that's a function of what his employers told him to do. And that's why he has carried it on and has carried it out as well as he can. So we have had, again, I go back to the NFF board. I've told them in 6 or 7 years, this, in terms of developing football in Nigeria, developing our football structure in terms of the league, the FA Cup, which they disgracefully nicknamed the ITO Cup, this has by far been the worst NFF administration. This year, I was at one of the FA Cup matches in Lokoja.
Okay.
I was at the game. I walked into the stadium. I looked at the pitch. I looked at everything that was going on. I took photos. I said to myself, this is the country's major cup competition. And look at what is going on here. These people have, all they care about is, let us go and get diaspora boys to come and play for the national team. Because there's this erroneous belief that qualifying for AFCON, qualifying for World Cup means that your football is great. No, it's a complete lie. It's a fallacy. The strength of any country's football is dependent on the local league. How strong is your local league? Is it how financially viable is it?
It is, yeah.
How much are the players being paid? How safe is it? How many fans attend games? This is where you judge the football federation and the football culture of a country, not by going to get diaspora one boys to come and play for the national team. And this is where this federation have failed in their 6 or 7 years. They failed completely because nobody wants to do the work. There's a lot of hard work. It is a lot of hard work to build something that will last a long time. Nobody wants to do that work. And that is why we are where we are now. I don't think they're disorganized. They're doing what they want to do. They're not disorganized.
All right. Thank you very much. Clearly, a lack of disorganization and all that. I have a few more questions, one or two questions, and my colleagues, I'm sure, as well, do have one. But we have to go on a break very soon. Just hold on a bit for us. Stay with us. When we come back from that break, we'll wrap up the conversation with veteran sports journalist Calvin Emeka Onwuka joining us via Zoom on the show. This is still Game On right here on 99.3 Nigeria. For Samuel Victor Akman, alongside Chuma Nolly and Anthony the Voice. Stick around, guys. We will be right back. station, not sports station. We are not sports station. Radio station. I was gonna say we are Femi and the Gang, the sports team. Yeah, and we're bidding you one welcome back to the show. Before the break, we were talking to veteran sports journalist and founder of ACLSports.com, Calvin Emeka Onwuka, and he's been telling us a bit about the disrespect of African football or the perceived disrespect now by FIFA towards African football and maybe even other bodies like Jurgen Klopp in Fed. Let me get your thoughts on this. I know it's been overflogged and a lot has been said about it, Emeka. Thank you for staying with us, by the way. Glad to still have you on the broadcast. Last weekend or 2 weekends ago, was it, before the Champions League game, Jurgen Klopp was criticized by an African, specifically a Nigerian journalist, for the choice of words referring to the African Cup of Nations as a little tournament. Now, we know the story, Emeka, and how he defended himself, but a lot of flack has come the way of the Nigerian journalist for, trying, many say, to paint Jurgen Klopp as a racist. Let me just get your take on that. I mean, we're talking about the disrespect we face on the African continent. What did you make of comments by Klopp? Do you think he was, he just said it en passant, or do you think it was actually being disrespectful, again, using that word, to the African Cup of Nations and the continent as a whole?
I first saw the clip
Video?
The video just after it happened on that Saturday, when he said, yes, there's a matter of a little tournament in Africa. And I was instinctively very annoyed. Like,
okay,
what are you saying? Why are you doing that? I didn't like it. I have to point out that having lived here for as long as I have, I'm very prickly about anything that I consider insulting or belittling of my continent.
Okay.
So I remember I did not react onto myself. I didn't react. All I know was that on my Twitter handle, I retweeted the comments that followed it.
By the way, just for clarification, Calvin is in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who are wondering, he's in the UK. When he said Twitter, I just had to say that. Sorry.
Because we are not. All right, Calvin.
So I then said to myself that I'm hoping that by tomorrow, which was Sunday or the day after, that the comms department of Liverpool will try and clarify
that statement.
He didn't mean it disrespectfully. I also now watched the post-match conference after the Champions League game, where OJ Babatunde was asking him the question. The only thing I might have, I'm more experienced. I'm older than OJ.
Okay.
So the way I would have gone about asking Klopp the question would have been different from the way OJ asked him. But I certainly would have asked him that question. That I would have just asked him, can you clarify what you meant?
What you just said by
Simple.
that, yeah.
Simple.
Because I have to also let him know that I felt that I think he was being disrespectful to us, but I might have misunderstood him. So can he try and clarify what
that statement?
What he meant? So OJ was right in pulling him up on it. In my view, he was completely right to pull him up on it. And I also think that Klopp could have done better by saying something like, I didn't mean it like this, and I'm sorry that you misunderstood it the way
He did.
you misunderstood it.
He did. He did
Klopp-
actually. He talked about the context.
When you say like, I'm
I
sorry.
think-
Yeah.
Yes, I think what Klopp was trying to do was
Justify
he
the
was
context.
yes,
Mm.
that's what he did straight away. But again, I understand him. If somebody is attacking you ferociously, your first instinct will
Be on the
to
defensive.
Mm.
defend it.
Basically.
Yes. Especially a journalist and a Premier League football manager.
Mm.
You probably instinctively want to defend yourself as forcefully as is legally possible to do. So I think that's what he was doing. But again, I'm cool with the fact that OJ brought it up. I don't think it was sarcasm, as a lot of his defenders, that's the Liverpool manager's defenders were trying to say. It's not. Personally, I didn't think it was sarcasm. What he said that Saturday, I didn't think it was. But maybe, like I said, a more experienced person might have asked the question in a different
kind of way,
but still be ready to I hope to get a different answer.
All right. So on a semi-final question for you, I know we need to let you go at some point. You have other things to do, but I'm still.
No. Take your time.
All right, then. I appreciate that. Maybe you join us up until 10 p.m. Am I pushing my luck too far?
Just do the show with us.
All right, then. But still staying with that question, I mean, a lot has been said as to, okay, you've, obviously explained it better, the way and manner in which he put the question, made Klopp be on that defensive. But let's take the statement itself, a little tournament. So a lot of people have also said that, after all, Klopp is right. It's a little tournament. And you've spoken about presentation or perception, from the outside world. If we present ourselves in that manner, we're going to be seen as, such. So do you think maybe there's a fair bit of it that Klopp may be right, saying it's a little tournament, again, based on how we've presented it over the years?
Again, this is what I'm saying. If you have no self-respect, then you should not expect respect from outsiders. We as a continent, especially in the last 5 years, we have been pathetic. Everything we do, every way we want to define football, we no longer define football from the African prism. We define football by whatever UEFA and Europeans and FIFA decide football is. We do not make football in the continent attractive. Let me just paint this very real scenario. It costs so much to take part in the CAF competitions, so much, and yet the winner goes home with so little. There's no compensation for how much. There's no. It's frankly, if I was the Nigerian Minister of Sports, I'll probably ban all our clubs from entering CAF competitions, because it's not a business. It's a charity. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're spending so much money to crisscross Africa with its dreadful travel infrastructure. They spend so much money going from round to round to round to round, and then in the end, they make nothing. There is no television money. There is no proper income from attendance. It's nothing. People from outside will sit down and watch African football and try to go through African football finances, and they will laugh. They'll be like, "What are you people doing?"
It's shocking.
You really probably deserve to be called what you're called. You deserve to be called little, because you have not shown in any way that you see football as the business that it should be. And the sad part is that there are so many examples ahead of you in what is going on in UEFA, in what is going on in South Africa. The South African League winner, a South African League title winner earns more than a CAF Champions League winner.
Okay.
So imagine that. That's why initially South African clubs were very uninterested in competing in CAF competitions, because then it was costing them so much money and getting them so little. Why? Okay, let me even go back. How can a continent like Africa not have Danny Jordan as the CAF president? This guy organized the first and only
World Cup in Africa.
Who else should be running African football? Who else?
Big question.
But that tells you that as a continent, as we are in Nigeria, we're not ready. Everybody wants, just like all the people who own academies in Nigeria. All they want is, let's be able to sell players abroad. Let's get some money and then get more players, sell them abroad. and all of that. Nobody thinks of the long-term improvement of African football. You see, while our people were busy talking about meeting in the Congress and deciding to back Infantino and Arsene Wenger's biennial
World Cup, yeah.
None of these people thought to themselves, we should go and call a meeting with African Union leaders. Let us look for how they can improve the travel infrastructure in the continent, which will help everything. It will help everything. It will help sports. It will help trade. It will help everything.
Pretty much a ripple effect.
Yes, it will help everything. Let me give you an example. There's a CAF Champions League match this weekend in Libya.
Okay.
Right? Officials are traveling from Nigeria. They are traveling for that competition to officiate in the match.
Okay.
Because of this COVID stuff, Morocco have shut their borders.
Okay.
Right? So these people are going to fly from Nigeria to Istanbul. They're going to fly from Lagos to Istanbul for 7 hours, 10 minutes. And then from Istanbul to Tunis.
Wow.
And then from Tunis,
connect to Libya.
Benghazi. And they'll come back the same way. And we have people are sitting down and all they're thinking about is we should support FIFA for a biennial World Cup. You're not even sitting down and asking yourself, what are we doing in the continent to make football, to make sports? Right? Let's go and have meetings. Let's get people, business people, to draw business plans and give to African heads of states and say to them, listen, the continent needs proper transport infrastructure. Airlines, do you know how difficult it is to go from Nigeria to Benin Republic? How difficult it is to go from Nigeria to Togo?
Oh, yeah, pretty much
Meanwhile,
neighbors.
I can hop on the train. I can hop on the train in central London and be in France
the next
in
minute.
2.5 hours. If I was flying, it would be 60 minutes. There was a day I was flying to Eindhoven in Holland. On my way back, I was chatting to a friend in Nigeria. And I remember I just said, I'll be right back, was what I said to her.
Okay.
45 minutes later, I touched down at Stansted Airport. So I continued my chat with her. Next thing she says to me, when are you boarding? I said, I'm back in London. But these are the things that are
basic, very basic.
These are the things that are helping sports. These are the things that are helping businesses. Sports is business. So these are the things that I would have expected that CAF people should say, listen, let's go and speak to AU. Let's go and speak to WAFU. Let's go and speak to ECOWAS people and say, why are we not having situations like this that can help build sports? No, it's to do biennial World Cup. Do you know the pitch that FIFA made to them?
Tell us.
That they will make more money, that the federations will make more money. You will think that federations, all the money that FIFA will give to federations is helping football in sub-Saharan Africa. It is not. It is not. That is why people fight tooth and nail. They're going to do everything to become and enter federation executive boards because they know that is how they will get money, and then the money is always unaccounted for. If the government begins to ask them to account for the money, that's when there will be a threat of a FIFA ban because of quote unquote government interference
in sports.
Now, we have disrespected ourselves enough, and we deserve every disrespect
we are getting at this
outside.
point. All right. I mean, we could talk about this all night long, but it is interesting. I mean, you've expatiated expertly so well on all of these fine and little details that really matter to, the development of African football, specifically on the Nigerian continent. And a final note, I mean, administrative problems you've mentioned, and we've tried, people with experience, like they said, in those places to, change our football. We've tried other solutions. We've even tried
I don't know what are they called now. The call is let's get ex-internationals, into those positions to make things better. Does that solve the problem, or maybe it's like you said, bigger than we know at this point in time?
Ex-internationals, we have to understand that. Okay, this is the only way I can put it.
All right.
Who is an ex-international now that is qualified academically and mentally to be an administrator? I can only think of two at the moment. I'm sure if I think about it a bit longer, I might come up with other names. Sheyi Olofinjana, one, and Michael Emenalo, the second. You see, but the good thing, the good thing is that these two great men will not touch any
concerning
offer.
Nigerian football.
They would not touch it because they know for a fact that if they come in here to use an expression that my father-in-law, Dr. Michael Okonkwo, the Bishop of Trem, always used to use, they will rubbish them. They will come into Nigeria to go into the same board filled with people whose only plans are not going to be in tune with what these guys are used to having after working in Europe. They will rubbish him. They will rubbish them because they will frustrate everything they want to do because they would like to do everything by the book. They would want to work hard. They would not. They know that to be successful in building something long-lasting will take time. This is the thing. It will take time.
And we certainly lack that patience here.
Nobody wants it. Nobody is ready for that. That's the main problem. So these guys will never come. So saying to get ex-internationals won't solve it. Nigeria's problem is too systemic. It's too rooted. But it can only be solved if the way sports administrators emerge can be changed. Until that happens, we'll still be going around in circles. I really believe so.
All right. Need we say more? Absolutely not. I think you've hit the nail on the head. But is it? Let me find out from you, Emeka. I don't know if you support any team on the European scene or you're pretty much a Nigerian football person like Chuma, my colleague. Ifeanyi Uba or Aqua United, or maybe you're one for Manchester United or Arsenal.
Have you finished? Is that the question?
Yeah. Which club side do you support?
I am a Rangers International of Enugu person.
Oh.
For me, Rangers International are the greatest football club on the face of this earth.
Okay.
They come first. They're my first football love. And then followed by Manchester United. But I tell you something else. I think it was I was in South Africa during the AFCON of 2013, and Nigeria went to. By the time we got to the quarterfinal of that AFCON, I remember making a tweet. I said, "God, please, I sacrifice any league title that Manchester United will win for the next 7 years for Nigeria to win this AFCON." And I thank God it happened. We won the AFCON that year, and Nigeria still won. Man United still won the title that same year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you make of being an Enugu international? Did I say Enugu? Rangers International of Enugu fan. Now, what do you make of Ray Regnick?
Ragnick.
Yeah,
Ragnick. Ralph.
My colleague got me confused for a second. He was whispering something to my ear. But the Manchester United manager, Ralph Rangnick. I mean, his appointment has been greeted with mixed feelings. Some say United don't need that sort of man in that position. They need a proper manager in the mold of Guardiola and co. Others say, well, it could be the start of something really big for Manchester United. I mean, where stand you? When you sack a manager like Solskjaer at the time they sacked him, there were not many managers, top managers available. Yeah. So that's why they had to go and get an interim
while they whoever I strongly believe that the person United want in the summer has already been sorted. I believe so.
Posh?
And I'm hoping is Eric Ten Hag of
Ajax.
That's what personally. That's my own personal
choice.
Yeah.
I've been hounding Ajax every day with my tweets that they need to keep him safe for us till he comes. So an interim manager has to come in, and it's best to have somebody as vastly experienced as
Ralph
to come and do the job. He would have the players to work with. He has the backing of probably one of the biggest football clubs in the world. So
yeah.
I don't think that's a problem for him. There's nobody else outside there they could have gotten in that interim role. So it's fine. I don't think it's a problem at all.
Okay, all right. That 0-0 draw certainly still sticks and must be the start of something big for Manchester United going forward. But I really must say thank you so much, Emeka, for joining us on the broadcast. Really, really appreciate you for taking out time to talk to us about something very important to us, and it's starting to grow, which is that notion of the FIFA being disrespectful to the African continent and African football at large. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for your time, Emeka.
My pleasure, Sam. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
guys,
you.
it's been
So
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, boss.
Calvin.
Yeah.
Before you go, how can we follow you? I mean, some of your works are pretty interesting. I mean, I've just found a lot that I certainly will be munching on.
They are revolutionary.
The write-up, I must say, pretty much pristine. I absolutely love your perspectives. But so how can we, for the listeners out there, how can they, follow your write-ups and everything?
It's go to acsports.com. I used to have. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah,
yes,
we can, loud and clear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I used to, for years and years, I used to write for supersport.com, but somehow they lost everything I wrote there. 4 years
Oh
of
dear me.
Hard
4
work.
years of hard work. I tell you, the one that pained me the most was there was something I wrote about Luis Suarez in 2012, before he had that season he had at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote something about him saying that, for me, he was the next best below Messi and Ronaldo. Before he now had that season that he had with Liverpool in 2013-14. Now I can't find that right up again. It's so
Certainly would have been a good read.
But again, so yeah, I've got stuff on acsports.com.
Okay.
And I'm also on Twitter at Calvin Emeka. Twitter at Calvin Emeka, and you can follow me there. That's
So
no problem at all.
you are there. You can tweet at us, but we can't tweet back at you.
Twitter is unbanned in Nigeria.
All right. So thank you so much again. I appreciate you for your time. Bless your heart indeed.
My pleasure, guys. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much.